There we go. Look like we in there now. I'm gonna give it a couple of more minutes. There it is. Yeah. So now it's on YouTube like it should be. Sorry about the delay for all my folks on YouTube. We'll give it a couple of more minutes so these subscribers and everything can get hit right quick and possibly tune in. Check us out, man. Check us out. See how we getting down around this town. But yeah. Happy to announce that the Summer Night Lights is supposed to kick off, I believe, tomorrow. But in my area, my neighborhood, my part of town, Watts, the three major housing developments gonna be kicking it off in their gyms. Man, you know, I come out of the Aussies, man, or what they call Gonzaga now. That's the smallest development, 184 units. We don't get that same treatment where I come from, man. I've been trying to get summer night programs put back over there for the last 6 years. While I was over there doing my thing, we had summer night weekends, which was cool. You know, Friday, Saturday, Sunday night, we had something going on for the kids. You know, free food and games and music playing and police presence and all that. Just on the weekends, man. And it was a good program. And I don't know how it, ended up getting taken down or taken away from the people, but you don't get off into all these politician folks, man. You know, they got their own things where they do things. Well, what can we do? You know what I'm saying? I tell you what we can do. We can keep on giving them small, that death by 1,000 cuts. That's what we can keep doing. But like I was saying, yeah, happy that the program is happening. I heard that Ted Watkins is not going to be having his parks after dark, and it's like almost like putting pressure, man. But they claim they're going to do something in my neighborhood this year, and they're going to be the same as what's going on in other neighborhoods. You know, it's supposed to be jobs and stuff that come with this, man. And we want the employment plus the resources. You know, we want the same thing everybody else get. You know what I'm saying? That's only asking for, fairness. You know what I mean? But yeah, so that's kicking off. Happy about that. Get the kids all somewhere to go and something to do till 10, 11 o'clock at night. You know, keep them from being idle and running around, getting off into stuff, man. We just had a shooting in my neighborhood. Young man just lost his life. And turned out, man, that was my buddy. One of my buddies, man, childhood friends, man. That was his nephew. He's one of the community ambassadors right there in the Haciendas, one of the guys that does part of the gang intervention work. That was his nephew that lost his life that day. And yeah, man, it's like we need these resources, man. I mean, I constantly tell people just because it's smaller don't mean it ain't got the same things going on, same, violence, the same lack of programming for the youth is what leads to the violence, Tried to tell them we got this. They have these jobs for the youth during the summer right now. Anything, this is not the regular summer youth work. I told them that they need to get these young people and make them interns with the ambassadors, because we need to start reaching out to these young people and trying to get them interested in gang intervention, because they're the ones they're closer to the shooters right now than we are. Their generation is the ones that's active. You know what I'm saying? Not the 40s and up. The 35s and up. You know what I'm saying? We got to reach out to these young people, and what better way? There's no other way than to make make it tangible. Something that, okay, I'm getting paid to do this. You know what I'm saying? But in the midst of getting paid to do this, hey man, you know what? This is cool. I need to do more to help my people. You know what I mean? But people do what they want to do, man. You know how it go. Just an idea I threw out there. I don't know if they're going to do it or not. I don't got no power. But I think it would be a good idea, because me personally, I got off in the gang intervention when I was, 12? I think I was about 12 years old, going to school, wearing the T-shirt with the Crip and the Blood, shaking hands. That was in, 89, 88. Yeah, the Grapeseed dudes I went to school with, plus all the Body on the Bloods. Everybody who went to Markham remember me and my brothers and my sisters wearing them shirts, because Twilight was our big brother, and he was about peace. Somebody had these T-shirts made, gave them to him, because it was like, we feel what you're doing and we going to make it happen. This was in the 80s, and the truth didn't happen until 92. And we as little kids was wearing those T-shirts going to school, showing a Crip and the Blood, shaking hands on T-shirt. Many of the young people who saw it, hell no, that ain't never gonna happen. But then you had others who just seen it and started laughing and tripped off how the Crip was dressed, how the Blood was dressed. Hey, she got a slob on it, that nigga crab ass fool, little fully little folly that we go through or whatever. But it was a spirit, that was that was dealing with my big brother, and it spread to his siblings. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, me, my brother, and my sisters, all of his younger brothers and sisters, we always wearing them T-shirts in school because we believed in it. And then it turns out, hey, 1992, it happened anyway. That little dude right there that's sitting in the front with his arms wide open, that guy right there. You know what I'm saying? So the truth is the truth. The truth only hurts the devil. You know what I mean? But let's get off into these videos. I said I wasn't going to be on here too long this evening. So I'm going to try to keep my word with that. And going to switch us over to the other side. You know what I mean? But yeah, let me get these videos ready. We're going to go through some reels, man. Just some reels I done came across that I thought was interesting. Thought I would do a little come on, Terry on video, saying whatever, you know.
Assassination. You know what's interesting about assassination?
Now,
well,
I hate it when they try to go without you.
Not only does it change those you know what's interesting about assassination? Well,
you know, in practice, it be working perfect. As soon as you get ready to go live, boom, get the tripping. My boy George Carlin, let's check him out, right?
Well, not only does it change those popularity polls.
Start it over, George. They don't know what you're talking about.
You know what's interesting about assassination? Well, not only does it change those popularity polls in a big fucking hurry, but it's also interesting to notice who it is we assassinate. You ever notice who it is? Stop to think of who it is we kill. It's always people.
Real talk, George used to come with it, man. He used to really come with it. He was one of those comedians. He was like a white version of Dick Gregory to me.
People who've told us to live together in harmony and try to love one another. Jesus, Gandhi, Lincoln, John Kennedy, Bobby Kennedy, Martin Luther King, Medgar Evers, Malcolm X, John Lennon. They all said, try to live together peacefully. Bam! Apparently, we're not ready for that.
The heart of man is deceitful and desperately wicked above all things. Who can know it?
Difficult behavior for us. We're too busy sitting around trying to think up ways to kill each other. Here's one we came up with. It's efficient, too. Genocide, you know? Killing large numbers of people simply because they don't look like you, they don't talk like you, and they don't have the same kind of hats you do. You ever notice that anytime you see two groups of people who really hate each other, chances are good they're wearing different kind of hats. Keep an eye on that. It might be important.
Most white people in
This is my boy, God, I think his name is Peter something. I just know that he's Irish and he's Muslim. But check him out, man. He be coming with these critiques on the United States like nobody. Check it out.
America and Europe believe about their history is not history at all. It's mythology designed to produce a specific
He called the history mythology. I like that.
kind of person. A person who does not feel guilty. A person who does not feel accountable. A person who does not feel responsible for ever changing anything because they don't think they're doing anything wrong. They're taught that their ancestors were pioneers, their ancestors were explorers and builders of civilization, that they brought progress and democracy and enlightenment to the world. They hear about the Renaissance, they hear about the Industrial Revolution, they hear about the Age of Discovery, and so forth and so on. And not about enslavement, not about genocide, not about the theft, not about the destruction that their people are responsible for. They're not taught that their prosperity was built on unimaginable suffering. They're not taught that their systems of government
unimaginable suffering. Estimated 100,000 like so-called black people being brought over here died in the transition. They don't like talking about that. But there were studies done by W.B. Du Bois and other people like that said that was the estimated number. And we're close to like 70-something million Native Americans put to death in this country. Man, talking about like 2 million people, man.
Their financial empires, their very sense of national identity are all rooted in exploitation. They don't know about the crime.
All of it. Your banks, your insurance companies, every one of them, they all made money off slavery, all the top ones.
They don't know the real legacy of their people, and so they don't change. They don't have to change because they don't even realize what they need to correct. When we look at colonialism, for example, the history that's taught in Western schools is usually an abstraction. Colonization is framed as something that it just sort of happened a long time ago, something that was maybe unfortunate, but it was inevitable, and ultimately it represented progress. And there were many beneficial things to come from it. Never mind the millions of Africans who died in the Congo, in the Congo Free State under King Leopold. Most white Americans have never heard of them. Never mind the Bengal famine of 1943 when millions of Indians starved to death due to British policies. They don't even know about it. The fact that the American police forces evolved from slave patrols, they don't know about that either. And they're not any more informed about the ongoing crimes, like the pillage of African resources today, the economic neocolonialism that keeps entire regions of the world impoverished, the exploitation of labor in the global south. These aren't relics of history. That's the present day reality of what your people are doing. But the story that the white people are told does not include those realities, or else it packages those realities deceitfully and dishonestly. They package them dishonestly and deceitfully in the past just like they do now. The irony is that when they're confronted with the truth, many of these people will react defensively, you know. I didn't do that. That was in the past. Why should I feel guilty? But this reaction in and of itself reveals how little they're really understanding. It's not about guilt. It's about responsibility. You know, if a person inherits a stolen house, they may not have stolen it themselves, but they still live in it. And if they refuse to acknowledge where that house came from or how it came into their possession, if they insist that that house is rightfully theirs because the crime happened a long time ago, well, then they're complicit because the theft is ongoing.
Do you hear what the man just said? You're an accessory to theft and murder, torture, SA, all that stuff, man. You reap the benefits of this treachery.
The crime never really stopped. So when people don't know their history, they cannot recognize when history is repeating itself and when history is actually just a continuum into the present.
Who's
Could
up
we
now?
press for a very simple answer to one question? Do you hate all white people?
I don't think it's a fair question. The white man doesn't even come into my attitude.
That's right.
Mr. Muhammad teaches us to love our own kind and let the white man take care of himself. For a white man today, sir, after kidnapping millions of black people from Africa, stripping them of all human characteristics and relegating them to the role of chattel or cattle or animals, commodity, merchandise that could be bought and sold at will. And then 100 years since the Emancipation Proclamation, using every type of deceptive method to further us into slavery, called second-class citizenship, I think that it would take a whole lot of nerve for white people today to ask Negroes, do they hate them? Okay.
My man said, okay.
In the 80s, there was Cold War.
Quick commercial, since we was talking about the CIA the other day. Let's take a look at this. Kind of relevant with the whole, American Contra War thing. Let's say, y'all ready? Let's listen.
We fought the commies inside Nicaragua. Our friends were the Contras. Freedom was their mantra, so we sent them lots of money for guns and landmines. But Congress stopped the Contra money flow just 'cause they moved a teeny bit of blow. But then a hero came.
A teeny bit.
His name was Oliver North. He and Reagan went around the sissy Congress. Ollie North, Ollie North. You see, North secretly sold missiles to a harmless country called Iran that would always...
Who? Was it the hypersonics they was just using on Israel?
...be a grateful ally. Then he gave the profits to the Contras. Genius! But the sales were uncovered by the press. Reagan and North. Well,
that's back when the press did its job. That's back when what they call them, investigative journalists, like your boy Gary Webb. That's back when you had cats like that.
Began to stress, 'cause what they did was technically high treason.
High treason.
But it was totally justified. North volunteered to take the blame.
Hey, who is that running off with Reagan? Who's the dudes that they said Reagan, but they didn't mention old Skulls and Bones right there.
Save Reagan from prison rape shame. The truth he did bury with his hot secretary. Thanks to her shredder, he got off totally scot-free. Holy North.
Totally scot-free, man. The Contras were the ones responsible, working with the CIA, for dumping all the, the dope into South Central LA. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Holy North, he's a soldier and a hero and a novelist, and now he's on Fox News.
I need your ID also, please, sir. Okay, I'm going to place you under arrest then.
You're not placing me under arrest.
Come
You have no right to ask for any.
Come here. All right. Taser.
What you tasing the man for?
He is under arrest. He's under arrest.
For what?
For trespassing and for disorderly conduct.
Man, you need to run that far, man. You kind of
He's in front of
winded.
the business, yelling "fuck everybody,"
That's not public property. Freedom of speech. Relax.
and he refused to give me.
Hey, your sergeant told you to relax, bro.
Why?
So I could issue him a citation for trespassing.
It's not trespassing.
All through the history of boxing, promoters of all
Now I tripped when I seen this video, man. I've never heard the big bro talk like this before.
kinds, Jewish, Italian, white, have done all types of things in boxing, have taken money from boxing, have been caught doing crooked things, have robbed fighters, and nobody's never had no press conferences or pulled them above board or show. I said, because these two men are black, it seems that all type powers and people are trying to make these men look bad because they're black. I didn't say anything about no,
What type powers and people?
what type power? You trying to get me to say something else? I'm smart. How old are you? How old are you?
It's not important.
Well, what you ask me questions for? You ask me questions.
This is your press conference.
Well, I said, I ask you a question. How old are you?
This is your press conference.
Don't ask me no more questions.
He pissed off. What people? What powers? So you trying to get me to say something else? You think I'm something stupid? Not gonna say it.
I won't talk to them more. You can't. I just ask you how old are you? Because you a white man, you the racist. Because I'm a nigga, you gonna ask me questions, and I ain't gonna ask you no questions. I ask you how old you was. You gonna tell me you ain't gonna answer. Well, the hell with you. Get your ass away from me. Get up now. Why you gotta stay here? Get up now. I get up.
Champ, what happened when...
Motherfucker, I told you get up.
I ain't never heard Muhammad talk like that before, man. But we say brother the minister Farrakhan said he went to go see him like later in life. He said he was sitting there talking with the chairman. He said that Muhammad told him, still a nigga, man. Still a nigga. He's like, what you talking about, man? Hey, real talk. Ain't nothing changed.
Good morning, ma'am. And isn't it a lovely morning?
Up yours, nigger.
I believe this is how people feel about us right now. I don't think nothing ain't changed at all, man. I'm just keeping it 500. It is what it is. I mean, you can say what they want. Let's see. Let's pull up these other videos real quick. I gotta go over this other thing, man, because things are still going on in the hood, and it ain't all good in Cali right now, man. We still got protesters and protesting going on. So let's pull up videos dealing with that real quick.
About 10 days after.
Alrighty then, because while we were in the meeting earlier, literally in the meeting talking about water being shut off and among other things going on in LA, in Watts, internet, stuff like that. It just so happened that they was doing a raid at MacArthur Park, man. So we kind of like shifted over towards that. I'm gonna pull it up for y'all right now. Boom, I got y'all. Anybody that ain't seen what was going on, let's do a quick little video on what's going on. What's going on? Play it.
Live aerial view right here as you are taking a look at a large convoy and DHS officials right there, agents. And this is from our Fox Correspondent Bill Malugin saying that breaking news, we are with hundreds of federal agents and military as a massive federal immigration enforcement operation is underway in the MacArthur Park area of the sanctuary city of Los Angeles, an area with heavy MS-13 influence.
She hit you with that sanctuary city of LA. Then she hit you with a heavy MS-13.
Mayor Bass has demanded that the raids stop. So this is another live look. Aerial.
And somehow Sanctuary City and a heavy gang presence seem to go together.
View right here from KTTV as hundreds of federal agents and military are part of this massive immigration enforcement. You can see, in fact, the large tanks right there. You can see the agents in their gear. And that does look like it's Mayor Bass, who is surrounded by photographers. So we're working to get more information on this. It does look like she is going to be discussing this with some officials. I'm just going to raise the audio. This is from the helicopter of our Fox 11 LA team. So it's unclear as to whether or not we're actually going to get any sound. But that is LA Mayor Karen Bass walking the streets there in LA as hundreds of federal agents and military are operating a federal immigration enforcement operation. This is happening right now in Los Angeles. So you can see that Mayor Bass surrounded by media as they're asking her for comment. We also see a number of federal agents surrounding the area as well, as this is a DHS raid operation happening right now in LA. This is a live look from our KTTV helicopter, and you can see Mayor Bass there in the teal suit right there. It's a little hazy as you can see that the helicopter now panning away, but we did want to share this with you coming into our Live Now for Fox Studios at this moment from LA, as hundreds of federal agents and military are there in LA as part of a federal immigration enforcement operation. We are working to gather more information, and should we hear from LA Mayor Bass, we will do so. I am just going to raise the audio to see if we can hear anything. This is a live look from the helicopter, so it is unlikely, but let's just try.
This is where we are. This is really the altitude where we're at.
Anybody that know LA, you know MacArthur Park is not the nicest part of town. A whole lot of craziness going on around there. If I'm not mistaken, the Mexican embassy is right there by MacArthur Park. I'm almost sure it is. I'll fact check that right quick.
This is the 2X. This is just the glass, and then when I hit the digital doubler, we lose resolution. All right. Yeah, that's the digital doubler. That's what you're seeing. You're cutting the resolution down. And that actually, according to the machine, is sharp.
So we are hearing from the helicopter operator right there, and it does sound like he is answering some questions that we don't hear. But this is some breaking news out of Los Angeles as a federal immigration enforcement operation is currently underway. You see a large crowd right there. LA Mayor Karen Bass is at the center of this large crowd. As you can see, some of the tankers right there on the street in LA.
Way out, way out. But you know the craziest thing about it, man, you from LA, you used to seeing military type joints. When COVID was going on, we seen National Guard all in Compton, man, hanging out on corners by liquor store. They thought it was going to blow up there, but it didn't. People was actually way more calm and just trying to get their little tissue and water.
And according to Fox News correspondent Bill Malugin, this is an operation in the MacArthur Park area of LA, an area that he says has a heavy MS-13 influence. Mayor Bass right there demanding that the raids stop. And you can see that it's getting a little physical right there as the crowd is kind of pushing towards this.
Personally, honestly, to me, it low-key looked like a publicity stunt. Let's move on.
Good afternoon. Today, I was on my way to the press conference with the governor talking about the 6-month anniversary of the fires of the natural disaster, the worst in California's recent history, and to report on the progress. While I was on the way, though, I got alerted that there was a ICE operation, military intervention, who knows, at MacArthur Park. I turned around, we went to the park. I could see a helicopter in the air. I think it was a Black Hawk helicopter. And I saw military tanks. It was the Custom and Border Patrol, and it might have been military on the periphery. To me, this is another example of the administration ratcheting up chaos by deploying what looked like a military operation in an American city. So I went to MacArthur Park because it is very important that the truth be told about what happened there. Now, you can spin it any way you like, but in my opinion, it's a political agenda of provoking fear and terror. Frankly, it is outrageous and un-American that we have federal armed vehicles in our parks when nothing is going on in the parks. It's outrageous and un-American that the federal government seized our state's National Guard. It's outrageous and un-American that we have U.S. Marines who are trained to kill foreign soldiers overseas deployed in our American city. So here's the truth. There's no plan other than fear, chaos, and politics. Home Depot one day, a car wash the next, armed vehicles and what looked like mounted military units in a park the next day. What happened to the criminals?
Yeah, and LA got a $1 billion deficit right now, too. I'm just talking about they cut money with the parks and everything, man. And I don't remember Summer Night Lights starting in mid-July ever. You know, I usually got to believe it started in like June, end of June. Like as soon as school got out, Summer Night Lights started. And right before school started back, I remember back in the beginning, Summer Night Lights would go like 1 week into school going back in. I don't know. You know what I mean? But that's the thing about one of the things, the nastiest things about LA is the spending and how they do their spending and who gets the money and who gets the support. They're the biggest of the bring the money in on both sides and nothing get done. They the top. Cali, man. They the best at making sure the wrong people get put in the right positions. I'm just keeping it 400. I've just seen it the whole time I was doing my thing around. Had my little nonprofit, still got our little nonprofit. You know, we do our little thing in Watts. We orchestrate and try to get services to my development because, like I said, the haciendas don't get the same resources that the rest of Watts get. So it's up to us, you know, the locals, the brothers that grew up around there, you know, fighting and getting shot at and all that stuff. If we don't look out for our neighborhood, nothing to happen over there that's good for the community. But man, going to these meetings and all these nonprofits operating out of the 902, the 90002 district, all the way to the Imperial side, it's like everything's completely stagnated. No real progress, no real changes in the streets. And man, my neighborhood is like the nucleus of that. It's like you see the least in my little area. Because see, these developments, these housing developments, they're supposed to have a designated budget that's supposed to go to them, not just with Housing Authority, but also with Housing Authority CSP program with LAPD. They're supposed to have a budget set aside just for, you know, outreach and community programming in every development, each development. So you're supposed to see certain things go down in the developments. and the hostages just get left out, man, and that's just keeping it 400. But like I said, working with these folks, being around these folks, the wrong people get the budgets. The wrong people get put in the right positions. Like Big 6-4 said, they always giving the wrong people the right positions, and nothing gets done. And they like it like that. Because see, if nothing gets done, they can come back next year and say, hey, we spent our budget, we need more money, because nothing has really happened. Speaking of which, let's get into this next video. This is perfect.
One of the Democratic Party's top fundraisers in Los Angeles has agreed to plead guilty to embezzling funds from the now defunct Hollywood anti-poverty group he led for decades.
Oh, embezzlement, you say? Oh, they're going to get off into it more than that. But the thing about it is this, when it comes to the whole poverty and homeless thing, black people make up the big percentage of that more than anybody. You know, and LA was founded by black people from, believe it or not, so-called black folks founded Los Angeles. And we're the most homeless in Los Angeles. And LA has like over, they have over like 47, 48% of the homeless in America living in California, somewhere in California, in LA, San Francisco. That's why you go through there, it's tent city. It's tents everywhere. And it's like, LA just ain't pretty no more, man. She ain't the bad chick at in high school no more. She the chick on crystal meth now.
Now, this was a nonprofit, and it appears, based on his willingness to plead guilty, that he had stolen some of the money from this nonprofit and spent that money on himself, pretty lavishly, actually. Now, the man in question is Dixon Slingerland, who says he's guilty of embezzling more than $71,000 from the Youth Policy Institute. He was the CEO of the group from 1996 to 2019 before the nonprofit collapsed. I should note that he received millions, tens of millions of dollars in both local and federal grants in order to, run this nonprofit. And it's interesting because he was one of the donors for Eric Garcetti. And oh, would you look at that? He gets local grants in order to run his nonprofit from local leaders here in Los Angeles. Now let's give you some of the details of what he did. According to the Los Angeles Times, from 2009 to 2019, Youth Policy Institute received $281 million in federal grants. When it filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy in 2019, the organization reported that it had demanded Slingerland repay more than $1.7 million in misspent funds. So
this is what goes on in LA. You see that? And who was he exploiting? Impoverished people. Those with the least amount of ability to fight anybody back legally. This is what goes on. Millions of dollars. You know what I'm saying? And they bounce the money back and forth with their little buddies. Their little buddy nonprofits bounce money back to them, and their little Jeff Johnson Foundation, and name right after whoever the congressman or council person is bounce the money around, right? Meanwhile, the little fish out here, the ones that are actually good for the environment, they try to starve us to death. Make sure we can't help the people. You know what I mean? But this is just real talk, man. They can say what they want, man. Ain't nobody lying. Truth is the truth. The truth only hurts the devil. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, I do feel bad about the different things taking place. But hey, it is what it is. I'm not gonna be mad at nobody too much longer. But yes, sir, we wanted to make sure that we was capable of going live on both platforms, and it looks like it worked out. We went live on both platforms, and hey, man, it's okay. It's all right. So yeah, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Who was able to tune in. We're supposed to go live in the Watts group. What's going on group missed with that, but still live on Facebook, so all my people can still see it. And we're gonna make sure we get it down packed on how to move these what you call them move these I'm moving right now. Look, ooh, baby, ooh, bet, get out the way, boom. So you supposed to be right there, not way over there. All right. But yeah, we gonna try to make sure we can get stream on all the platforms live, man, and try to get our message out and do our little podcast thing, talk about what's going on, whatever it is, that's going on. We want to talk about what's going on. That's what we gonna do. But yeah, so we looking forward to tomorrow's show. We're gonna try to start setting up some unity shows. What I mean by that, pull in my buddy Yay and all the other youngsters, all our folks that's out there, that's little fish out there that's starting off our podcast and getting and learning how to do this stuff, man. We on top of it though, right? We are definitely on top of it. So we gonna give all praise to the Most High for you tuning in and hanging out with us, and that's what we gonna do with that, and we gonna hope that we can see y'all tomorrow. If you're still breathing, you got an opportunity to get it right. I mean, get it in here and let's talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Smash up them likes. Come on in the comments, man. I mean, I didn't really open it up for that tonight because, like I said, this is like a trial for this new software that I'm using, making sure it's working properly or whatever, man. But yeah, looks like it's working. I mean, looks like it's doing well enough. So we ain't gonna hate on nobody. I don't really want to hate on nobody. So we gonna shut down YouTube. Because YouTube be hating when it comes to the whole intro